Man United's 4-3 defeat to Copenhagen was just another miserable day as a United fan. It's a proper rollercoaster this season. It's seriously heartburn FC. I think there were a few things we learned in that game. About Ten Hag's tactics, about Rasmus Hojlund, about Marcus Rashford, about VAR, about our defence, about the summer clear-out that needs to happen. I'm going to run through all of them in this video. Give me 10 minutes of your time. So I think a couple of them are really quite important. A couple of the points are going to be like compounding things that we already knew, but you can let me know what you think in the comments below, as you always do. But first up, you have to talk about VAR. It is beyond a joke now. Marcus Rashford had nothing but eyes for the ball here. Nothing but eyes for the ball. Wasn't looking at the man, planting his foot down there. And when you've got Jamie Carragher coming out of support of a Manchester United player, you've got Ian Wright coming out in support of a Manchester United player, I think it really tells you just how strange it is. If you slow it down, of course it's a red card. But it's a big problem with VAR. Every single game, we're not talking about the football anymore. We're simply talking about VAR and decisions. And when you see that Rashford decision, that they were they weren't particularly quick to do. It took them 4 minutes to do. And then you see Copenhagen scoring their first goal with a player standing right in front of Onana, but VAR just doesn't do anything. You see Rasmus Hojlund being elbowed in the face by, look, that player there, he was already on a yellow. He had no eyes for the ball. He wasn't jumping. VAR decides we were 1 goal ahead with 20 minutes to go, and all our defence had to do was concentrate. Wan-Bissaka with a hospital pass to Onana. Dalot switches off at the back post. 3-3. And then Varane just inexplicably forgets how to play football. And if you're looking at Manchester United, if you're looking at Onana's mistake and his lapse of concentration against Bayern Munich away, if you're looking at Onana's mistake in causing the penalty and the red card for Casemiro and Galatasaray at home, if you're looking here at the mistakes from Wan-Bissaka, from Dalot, from Varane, you can't possibly compete at the elite level when you have that many individual mistakes. And it's just down to concentration. Dalot is better than that. Varane is better than that. Distracted, not fully focused, not concentrating. Dalot even looked over his shoulder and saw that the defender was there. I don't personally think this is something that is down to coaching. This is down to these individuals. It's also down to quality. That's why I think a defensive clear-out is coming. I'll speak about that next. But I'm definitely taking one big positive from that game. And it's not just Rasmus Hojlund, but it's the game plan of Rasmus Hojlund. We've got it, all right? It's right there. Manchester United used it against Copenhagen. It has been really frustrating me in these last few weeks at Manchester United. We just haven't been playing like we've got Hojlund in the team. But we've got a number 9 who occupies the perfect positions. And that first goal was an absolute blueprint for what we need to be doing going forward. Wan-Bissaka and Rashford down there linked up on the right-hand side. A lovely little ball inside from Wan-Bissaka to McTominay, who's underlapping. That means he's cutting inside the fullback. Runs to the byline. And look at Hojlund. He's just in the right position at the right time, scoring from 2 yards out. Hojlund will eat those up. Now, I imagine because we haven't, two things, I suppose. Number one, it worked having Wan-Bissaka down that right-hand side and Rashford. Okay, Rashford was put there to make the most of Hojlund being in the number 9 role. Rashford's not the main guy anymore, not the main goal scorer. It's Hojlund. Okay, and that's why that works so well. Also, Ten Hag, in last pre-season, we constantly worked on cutbacks. Overlaps, overloads, creating cutbacks. Simple, easy goals. Not every goal's got to be a screamer. Score lots more like that and you'll win significantly more games. Now, I hope to see Reguilon coming in at left-back so that we have that natural left-back and we can create the overloads, because Delot's not really overlapping down there. He's always inverting, which means that we're not creating the overlaps on that left-hand side. It's down to Garnacho to beat his man, but that doesn't create... So in this situation, you now drag a defender away, and then all of a sudden, Hojlund has space at the back post. Create these opportunities, play to Hojlund's strengths as a game plan, as a team, and I guarantee you we will score more goals. It's not difficult. We have signed a very good goal scorer. In the Champions League, he is running 5 goals in 4 games. We've got 0 points in those 2 games where he scored 2 goals each against Galatasaray and Copenhagen. Defensively, they need to make more of what they're doing. But from an attacking perspective, the game plan is right there. Use the width, use the fullbacks, use the underlapping runs from McTominay or Bruno or Eriksson, and get that ball across. Because if you do that, Hojlund will be there to get on the end of it. And Man United will score significantly more goals as a consequence. We've got a proper goal scorer. It's time that we start using him. We haven't been using that in the Premier League in recent games. I hope that switches against Luton, because we've seen right there that it works. But focusing back to our defence, look, man, I genuinely think there's a bit of a summer defensive clear-out coming. And this is not in a reaction to that game. This is something that I've been feeling. Well, look at how much confidence have you got in this defence? And just you look at everybody here. Genuine. I know this won't happen in one summer. It just seems unrealistic. But I'm looking at Victor Lindelof. I think we can improve on Victor Lindelof. If you're looking at situations that keep happening with our defenders, is they keep finding themselves in one-on-one situations. When you play with a high line, when you play with 3 at the back, going forward to try and create the overlaps and the overloads in attack, you're going to find your centre-backs isolated in one-on-ones. Victor Lindelof's no good in one-on-ones. Harry Maguire's no good in one-on-ones. Both of those could be upgraded and replaced with better alternatives. Rafa Varane, I think, should be sold to Saudi Arabia. The game's too fast for him. He's probably the best in the one-on-one situation alongside Alessandro Martinez. But Tyrell Malacia, well, he's been gone all season. Not really saying too much on him for this season. Sergio Reguilon's here on an emergency perspective. So I don't think Lindelof should be here. I don't think Varane should be here. I don't think Maguire should be here. I question whether Malacia is going to be here. Well, Reguilon won't be here. Diogo Dalot has just signed a new 5-year deal. He's going to be here, but he should be the alternative at right back. We should have 2 left backs. Luke Shaw will be here. Wan-Bissaka will be here. Johnny Evans won't be here. That is a proper defensive clear out. I don't know how many of those are going to be here next year, but there's not that many that I want to be here next year. Now, somebody I want to be here next year, somebody who I want to be still our manager. Be still our manager? Erik ten Hag, man. He's absolutely got my support. For sure. We saw it in the opening 20 minutes. People were like, identity this, identity that. And I think they're fair criticisms. We saw it against Copenhagen. And I was looking at that going, that's United. That's the United that I remember seeing so often last season under Ten Hag. Now, without Martinez and without Shaw, we've just not had that same level of quality, for sure. But look, Hojlund here saying that every player supports Ten Hag, I don't think that's completely correct. I don't think that's entirely true, but he's got my support. He's got Hojlund's support. He'll have Bruno's support. He'll have the support of a lot of players in that team. You don't get last-minute winners against Brentford and Fulham if you've lost the dressing room. You don't play like we did in those first 20, 30 minutes if your players aren't understanding what they are supposed to be doing. Copenhagen gave us a little bit of leeway by not pressing us, but the system is there. I don't think we've got the players completely for it. Ten Hag's been struggling to find a way out of that. I didn't realise how much he was a player-focused manager rather than a system-focused manager. I think the system is created by the players, but it's more adaptable than I thought it would be. And that's why I think why we've struggled so much, because the quality of the players have not been there. But VAR is a complete joke. All right? I don't need to tell you that. I'm telling you again and again and again until something changes. But finally, it looks like we're now going to start playing towards Hojlund. We should have been doing this earlier, but it's better late than never. Do the same thing against Luton. Create the overlaps. Create the underlapping runs. Get the balls across the box. Hojlund will be there, and Hojlund will bag. That's the main takeaway I've got from that game. And we have to see it against Luton, because it'll be very frustrating if we now go back against Luton in the Premier League and we don't use that tactic which worked so well against Copenhagen, because he is our best goal scorer. So start playing towards him, please.